Good morning. This is Mr. D, live with Mr. D again with Man Talk. We came on last week. We were talking about leadership and vision. Today, we're just going to be talking about work ethic. Work ethic. Men need to have a work ethic. First of all, I want to start y'all with a scripture. The Bible clearly says if a man does not work, he does not eat. So we need to teach our young men how to work. But most young men are just lazy. And they will be that way if you do not put some fire into them, if you do not make them do things. You have to make young men work. Even if there's nothing to do, you have to make them work. You have to come up with things for them to do. You have to hold them accountable for what you've told them to do. Because if you don't, they'll just lay on the couch, play video games all day, and then expect to just sit around, eat up all the food. Your house is dirty, everything. So I have this, I encountered a couple of young men last week. I was taking my car and on Saturday to get washed. We went through the automatic washing. Then, you have the people out there detailing. Had a couple of young men, I guess they were in their late teens. Okay, they took my car through. The car looked shiny on the outside. It was, the water and the wax that they mixed in it had it shining. The windows was done good and everything. And a young supervisor was showing it to me. And I always look into my rims because, the rims give off a lot of brake dust, especially when you haven't washed your car in a minute, like me. But however, I looked at the one side, the driver's side looked decent. I looked at it, I put my finger in it, found brake dust, and I could see it. Just happened to scroll around, go around to the other side of the car. The other side wasn't done at all. And then I got ready to get in, and I saw where the seat was pulled back. It wasn't even vacuumed. It had trash and, crumbs and things in the floorboard. So I didn't get upset, but then I told the young man, I said, this is before I give you a tip. I said, I need this taken care of. So he takes the car back around, pulls it up behind the two young men that were doing it. And as they were doing it, and once they finished, I told them, I said, look here, I used to detail my own car many years ago when I had the energy and all that. I said, you always have to do the rims and you got to get the brake dust out. I said, you can have a clean car, on the paint and everything like that. The windows look good. I said, but your car's still dirty if the rims doesn't look good. You got shiny wheels with dirty rims. I said, that's not a good look. But I say all that to say, instead of getting upset at the young men, I gave them pointers. I tried to help them. I told them, I said, look here, if you're going to do a job, you must do it well. I say you must have a strong work ethic. You must absolutely want your stuff to look good because you'll be setting yourself apart from your other coworkers when you do that. I guess, they were thankful. They're appreciative when I told them that. I gave them their tip. However, I took my wife's car the very next day to the same place. And guess what? Same two young men did the car again. And guess what? They left the rims undone. I know they're trying to get through fast as they can to make as many tips as they can. I get that. But I told them, I said, you must absolutely take your time and be detailed about the work that you're going to do. And this goes to say you must start your child, your young man off in a work ethic as soon as he can get on his feet. 2 years old. I know everybody say terrible twos and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Terrible twos, let them be kids, but you still give them some responsibilities to do. Men must have a work ethic. They must be able to go to a job, start a business. They must satisfy the customer. We need to learn to teach our young men these types of things. If you hired on to do a job, they expect you to do the job well. They expect you to go above and beyond because actually what that does is says something about you, your job. The Bible also has a scripture and says, whatever you put your hands to, do it with all your might. And that is very clear. When you have a job, no matter how much it pays, you accepted the job. That means you should work that job like it is the best thing in the world for a young man. You shouldn't be taking smoke breaks and leaning and halfway doing things. Nobody wants that. When people are paying their hard-earned money, they expect for their product to be done well. They expect you to perform well. And you should do it with a grateful attitude. Your work attitude should be grateful also. As you're teaching them how to work hard, work until the job is done. Do not put off tomorrow what you can do today. Teach these young men this. Single mothers, your house should be immaculate. It shouldn't just be the girls that know how to clean, because guess what? Girls, a lot of people are not marrying today. So young man, you need to have your house clean. Your mama come over to your house, your dad stuff, you want your stuff looking at least decent. Know how to clean your bathtub, know how to clean your toilet, know how to clean your sink. Just keep your house looking presentable. This is all about work ethic. And another part of the work ethic is you must show up every day, not lay out of work. Not laying, I don't like that boss. No one hardly likes their boss, but they are your boss. They're not there to be your friend. So our job is to do your job. Do your job. Teach these young men to do their jobs. And another thing, whatever young men choose to do while they're under your roof and taking your direction, do not let them quit. It must be an extreme case for them to quit. Teach them, do not quit until you have another job in hand. That's what happens to a lot of young men. They get all into their emotions and feelings and things because they thought they was treated unfairly. And then they just quit the job. We don't want our young men doing that, because one day, I always tell them, one day you're going to have a family, you're going to have children, those kinds of things. You cannot just quit because you want. That goes to your work ethic. Your work ethic, like when it's all done, even if it's just sweeping the sidewalk, you want all the trash off the sidewalk in front of the business that you're doing. If you're cleaning the toilets, you want to clean the toilets well. You want the bathroom smelling fresh. I used to work as a cashier. And that was one of my pride and joys, because a lot of it come from my experience coming into like a gas station, using the restroom, and it smelled like pee. And I couldn't stand that. So I always took pride in making sure the toilets were clean and making sure the floor was mopped and everything that didn't smell like pee, had air freshener in. I took pride in that little bitty job because I worked as working unto the Lord. You see? Yet I did it with all my might. And I got a lot of compliments from that. I'm going to give you an example about how you have to train these young men and teaching them a work ethic from early on. We just had our grandchildren up here last week. And, young men, he only, 5 or 6 years old. I told him go take a shower. He goes, jump in the shower. He was. You don't expect 6-year-olds to be, that thorough, but we must teach them. And that's part of his job, is to clean himself. So he got out the shower, and I was like, let me smell you. I said, I don't smell no stove. He said, Papa, I washed. I said, let me smell those arms. See, I know that was the secret place. And I smelled under those arms. I said, man, you got enough onions up under here to make a hamburger, right? He died laughing because he thought it was the funniest thing in the world. I said, but I tell you what. I said, you tried the first time. I said, but let's go back and get in that shower again. And this time I want you to wash yourself from head to toe thoroughly. I want you absolutely lathered up. I want you between your toes, your toe jam, under your feet, everything. And, he just thought it was the funny thing in the world, but he did it. And the reason I did that, matter of fact, I made his brothers to do the same thing. Because, young men, let's be truthful about it, when they're growing, they don't want to shower. They go in there and pretend like they shower. But my point is this. You will continue to do it until you do it right. That is starting to teach young men early on that the job must be done well the first time. If you don't want to do it a second time, then do it right and do it thoroughly the first time. My grandfather taught me that. You know, he said, son, I was helping him mow grass. He said, I don't want to have to come back. My customer calling me talking about I missed some grass. He said, because you can mow that whole yard by yourself over again if you mess it up. I did not want to do that. And I knew he meant what he said. That's another key. Parents and young people, people that's in charge, you must mean what you say. You cannot give young men idle chatter, just saying stuff and never following up and never doing what you said you was going to do. Because just like any kid, they're always watching out for that crack. You cannot give them a crack. But always remember this, balance is the key. They must be balanced. You must teach them what they need and everything like that. Okay? So they can grow up and be men that work hard. They work well. They don't take shortcuts. They do what's right. Those are kind of young men we want, that we can entrust our cars with. We say, oh, we know he gonna do a good job. Okay? That is what we want. It's work ethic. And parents, some of us, we might need to work on some of our work ethic, all right? But we want young men to be able to work so that'll translate when they become adults into adulthood, manhood, fatherhood, husbandhood, all of that. They will work hard at whatever they commit themselves to. We don't let them quit. We make sure they work hard. They do it a second time if they don't do it right the first time. But tell them they did a good job. Don't forget the encouragement. We must encourage. We must encourage our young men. Hey, you didn't do it right the first time, but if you do it right the second time, you know, I got something for you. They'll learn in the process. They'll learn that they're not beaten down because they messed up. Remember, we're training, we're teaching them from little. We can't wait till they become teenagers, start teaching them everything. We must teach these things as vision and the leadership and the work ethic that we want when they're small, with small tasks. All right? I want you guys to like and subscribe and share this video. If you found some interesting stuff to share with your friends, your family, your sons, whatever the case may be, please like and share, subscribe to this channel, Man Talk with Mr. D. Okay? Until next time, God bless. Bye now.